how would you cope if you were cheating on your fiance with your cousin's fiance and fall into a big rut of problems because of that? Let's hope the only way that you have to find out is by watching Gehraiyaan, and let's hope that you're not a horrible person who's actually done this, because if you are, shame on you. Shakun Batra's third big screen directorial, Gehraiyaan, is an ensemble of not only great actors but also a lot of deep emotions. And through this movie, through 2 hours 15 minutes of this movie, we find out how these characters that find themselves in grey moral areas deal with their choices, their problems, their past, and how they learn to let go of their past. In some cases, maybe not. The flow of conversation of the movie immediately pulls you in. It is extremely free flowing. It feels like you are in dialogue with your friends and adds a big amount of relatability to all of these characters. I am sure you will see some of your friends in some of these characters. Let's hope they're not as bad as some of them are in a few scenes. But yes, it does definitely add to the relatability, and you instantly get transported to the world that Shakun takes you in. Deepika Padukone is back, and she's back with a bang. She is picture perfect in every frame, and she has, as always, managed to go deep into the skin of the character, as a result of which Alisha is a beautifully flawed character for whom you find yourself rooting, you find yourself hating, you find yourself asking yourself, why would any sane person do this? And then you're like, okay, maybe that's why. And a special shout out to every scene that Deepika Padukone has with the great Naseeruddin Shah. The two of them together on screen create magic. There is a scene towards the end of the movie where they're talking to each other, and it is deeply emotional. It almost brings tears to your eyes, and it is one of the most beautifully performed scenes. One of the best portraits of human emotions that is on celluloid as of today. Siddhant Chaturvedi as Zain, a character whose moral compass lies in the grey area, is put into a role that is completely different from anything we've seen him do before. We've seen him play the sincere Prashant Kanoja, we've seen him play the lion like MC Sher, we've seen him play a kind of comedy role in Bunty or Bubbly, but now we see him as partly a negative character, partly a character who gets caught up in his own choices. Again, he has done his job wonderfully, and I'm so excited to see what he does next. Both Dhairya, Karwa and Ananya Pandey have played their roles extremely sincerely and act as the backbone to the characters of Deepika Padukone and Siddhant Chaturvedi. They bring the sincerity to the movie, they bring the relatability to the movie. The music and the cinematography is a big part of the movie. Shakun uses these tools to provide you with all the feels, whether it be with Lautika singing the beautiful title track of the movie, or Kaushal Shah's cinematography. The scenes where there are waves crashing, the sounds of the waves, where the waves, as the story goes on, as the tempo of the story builds, they get higher and higher and higher. And at one point, you find yourself submerged under the waves, exactly as the characters are, under their choices, trying to come up for some breaths, trying to save themselves from the choices that they've made. And I think it is a wonderful metaphor and a wonderful way to summarize how the characters are feeling at that point in the story. And it is a beautiful transition into the different acts of the story. The first 2 hours of the movie really flesh out the characters, and as you get towards the end, the story starts to wane a little bit, and then comes the third act, which seems really promising at the start, because you're like, oh my god, what just happened? And it falls into a bit of a rut, and there are things, even though the end of the movie will leave you with a smile, leave you thinking, on second thought, third thought, I don't think an open-ended ending to this movie is what really gives the audience closure, because you want to know what happens as a result of the choices that these characters have made. Now, I know it is extremely unfair to compare one movie to another, but because in this case the director is the same, the thematic way of telling the story is extremely similar to that of Kapoor and Sons, where you are dealing with the chaos of the present but also trying to understand what happened in the past and why that plays such a big role in the now. and as you go on, you come to a big reveal in the last act. But this time, that big reveal just doesn't hit the same. It lacks the punch that the ending of Kapoor and Sons did. Now, I know that was a masterpiece, and even though this tries to do the same thing, it fails in doing that. It kind of flounders in the middle. Gehraiyaan is available on Amazon Prime Video, and if you have any thoughts regarding the movie, let me know in the comments down below. I am happy to discuss everything. Let me know how you like the review. Like and subscribe, you know the drill, and I will hopefully see you for another review soon enough. Peace.